Welcome to Pedestrian Safety Training, Improving Our Children's Safety. My name is Sharon Haynes. I will be your trainer for today's presentation. This training is a component of our parent orientation program. The orientation is conducted annually in order to provide an overview of our program and convey our program's expectations for a successful year. The goal of today's presentation is to dispense general safety tips for the transportation of your children to and from school. With transportation safety in mind, we must strive to model the appropriate pedestrian safety for our children. It all begins with traffic safety. If your mode of transportation to school is walking, then we have some safety tips for you. We always tell our children to look left, right, and then left again. But we must also teach them to continue looking left, right, and left again while crossing the street. Teach your children the meaning of the traffic lights and to cross with the red light and the flashing walk sign. The best way to teach our children this important traffic rule is to have the discussion first and then model the appropriate behavior. Remember, practice is key. In this fast-paced world, sometimes we look for shortcuts to get to our destination. However, we must remember that little eyes are always watching. Teach your children that the best way to get to your destination is always the safest way. While modeling street crossing safety, show your child how to cross at the crosswalk, even if it means going a little bit out of your way to cross safely. During your discussion, emphasize these key points. Your child must always hold the hand of an adult or an older child. Explain that they should never cross a street alone. And lastly, they should never run across the street. Most importantly, teach your child that walking across the street will get them to their destination safely. If you are transporting your child to and from school by automobile, then the following general safety requirements must be followed and will be enforced by law. We consider parents their child's first teacher. With this premise in mind, it's important that parents model automobile safety at all times. As of 2014, there are 49 states, except New Hampshire, and the District of Columbia that have mandatory seatbelt laws as per the National Safety Council. It is widely known that seatbelts save lives. So please buckle up for your safety as well as your child's safety. Although car seat laws differ state to state, all states have a car seat law. Please consult your state's requirements. The type of car seat required is based on your child's age, weight, and height. It's also important to ensure that the car seat is properly installed. These are the recommendations for car seats. Infants should be placed in a rear-facing car seat in the back seat until they grow out of the car seat. Toddlers can be placed in a front-facing car seat but still remain in the back seat. Then once a child has reached the manufacturer and the state law requirements for the height, weight, and age, your child can then transition to a booster seat. It is recommended that a child remain in a car seat or a booster seat until they reach the recommended height, weight, and age for a seatbelt as enforced by your state. No matter what the age of your child, the back seat is always the safest place for them. We want all children to arrive to school and travel back home safely. Please review your state's requirements concerning school bus traffic laws. However, if a school bus has stopped in front of you and the flashing lights have been activated, please stop and watch for children crossing the street. Remember, we want all children to be transported safely to and from school. You now have arrived at your child's early childhood center. Please consider the following tips for parking lot safety. First, refrain from parking in the handicapped parking spots, even if it's for a few minutes. These spots are reserved for families who need to be close to the front of the center. Secondly, be sure that your music is at an appropriate level when pulling into the parking lot. Loud music prevents you from hearing people outside your car. Lastly, drive slowly through the parking lot. These tips are given with the safety of our children in mind. Please avoid any distractions while driving in the parking lot, as children and families will be walking to and from the center. Be prepared for the unexpected, as children sometimes dart around cars. All of these tips have been conveyed to you in the hopes that they will help your child arrive safely to school. Please remember to discuss transportation safety with your child, model the appropriate behavior, and practice what you have discussed. One last thing before you go. Remember that your child's first mode of transportation is a tricycle. Be sure that they follow the road safety rules as discussed earlier and wear a helmet. We want this to be a fun but safe activity for years to come. Information for this presentation was obtained from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the National Safety Council, Pedestrian and Bicycle Information Center, safecar.gov. The images were obtained from Google Images. Thank you for your attention during the pedestrian safety training, improving our children's safety. Our goal today was to convey important transportation safety tips that will enable your precious bundles to arrive safely to school and back home again.